Well, hello, 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 and I got it. It's the last week of April. This is Julian with the Jewel Design, and I made it. I got one more digital kit out this month. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it. I wasn't sure I was going to get what I wanted out, and I am barely getting out by the skin of my teeth. But we have one more digital kit this month. This is more of an ephemera kit, a nice collection of my favorite shapes that I use for my envelopes that I put in all my digital kits. But I went ahead and picked all my favorite sort of vintage papers and pattern papers and just the things that I've been collecting over the past 2 years. And then put some of our favorite vintage florals on top of it. So it's a nice vintage garden envelope ephemera kit. And so we're going to show that off today. Some of these have been cut out. I can show you all my favorites. And then, of course, we have some printed out so you can see what they look like and their sizes as we go along. So we'll start off with the standards here, and we'll make this short and quick, sweet for the end of the month. I do have one more journal with me, though. I'm gonna try to move this just a little bit because things always shift. I do have one more journal with me at the end of the month, in 2 days, that have us work a little bit more on the HTC card ordeal. So here's a quick sneak peek. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, you want to see what I'm working on when I sort of zigzagged the HTC cards with the instantly backed ordeals. Make sure you come back on Thursday. You have your notifications going. You have your subscription button going. You have, notifications, subscriptions, loves. Make sure everything is posted so that you don't miss out on Thursday mornings. Little journal chat with me as I work on my little zigzag ATC journal. So my gratitude ordeal. So it's a lot of fun. So if you want to see how that's going, that is my last journal with me for the month. And this is my last digital reveal. So here we go. So here's my large full-size scallop clutch purse envelopes. And I called it that because I always felt that with the scallop on this end, so sorry guys, excuse me, and the 3 holes on the bottom here, made for a great thumb grab when you're putting stuff in and out. And I loved how the scalloped, it reminds me of the flap to a clutch purse. It always has. And so when we were working on it and we were trying to figure out how to name it, it finally came to me one day. So they are my scallop clutch purse envelopes. They're all a little different. Everybody has some variation of this. Some has 1 hole, big hole, wide one. Some of these have a really pointy, end here, but we all have some variation of it. But it really did remind me of an old 1990s fancy little clutch purse, feel. So it is an envelope. And this one's a lot of fun. I almost cut this one out too, but when you flap it down, you're going to have this great little, flower here on the flap that overlaps into this, covers all this up. So you have this one sort of off to the side of this pretty, and on the back, you will have, a little bit of greenery here and this lovely flower with plenty of room to journal, label, put a label on it, whatever, to give it away. Now, these are also great too as standalone items. These can then be added onto in all aspects and make it a consistent flip out standalone, ephemera piece that can have a notebook in it, can have, things tucked into on the tabs to make them pages. The creativity is endless on these envelopes. I thought, what am I going to do with all these envelopes? As I was first investigating like journals and ephemeras, I'm like, who wants all these envelopes? Why would you want to put an envelope in a pocket, right? Well, these make pockets, they make flip outs, they make standalone notebooks, they make all kinds of fun ephemera. And the sky's the limit. So never think, never assume you just have to glue it together and throw it out there. So anyway, this was great. I used 3 different types of papers on each flap. So you had a little bit of a collage feel to it without being overlapping. But from notebook paper to ledger paper to even, just a ledger down the side. And these are all great papers that I had access to. Now on the back, I printed the lace scan that I provided. It's page 12 of the book. I think it's page 12. Page 12, page 13. Page 13, I think. I think it's page 13. So there's 13 pages. So 12 of the envelopes and 12 pages of envelopes. And then there are an extra page of lace. So these are great to have on the inside of these so that you automatically have something to work off of. So it's like lining your envelope, right? When we go to have to recollage and reline a junk journal or a junk window envelope, you always have to put something in it. Well, by having the lace printed right on the back, all you have to do is fold, and I'll show you that at the end when I show you my favorites. They're already printed with the lace on the back, and it's great. So then we go to Now you get 3 of these of this size, the large one. I'll show you 2 of every size here, and then the 3rd one of each size I have pre-cut out. So anyway, you have that. Then we have a really nice, really heavy green. Now this one I purposely made a little lighter because this darker one's going to overlap it. So that gives you a sort of dimension. This is a great bright purple and green here on the front. Plenty of room to decor up however you want. And of course, easy flaps. Again, everything has lace on the back. Then, good Lord, did I put all these upside down? Yeah, I did. Then we go into the larger 4-flap envelope that I saw a lot of ladies do, but they're all perfectly squared, and I elongated them out a little bit for me so that all of my larger 4-up and instantly back journal cards will fit in this as a pocket. So if you use it as a standard, flap envelope, my journal cards will fit inside here. Since everything is fit to print, they all stay within proportion. If you want to be on the safe side, you could print these as exact, try to print actual size. As long as I shouldn't have gotten too close. The only one is this one where actual size, you make it a little close. And if you cut off the logos and stuff, it's not a big deal. But if you print actual size, then they're going to be a little bit bigger than your actual ephemera. So that's always helpful. But there's 3 of these also, large ones. I did, again, the pattern with a white flower over the top. I did one of the sort of tea dye distress pages with a very fun overlay of a white, almost like it was etched in. So I've got a stamp with a white hex. Again, it's an engraved floral that I've used in another kit. So that was just a nice fun light something. And then the 3rd one's over there. Then we go to a smaller clutch. Okay, this is more my medium-sized small clutch, little mini. It does fit up. I believe it fits my standard 6-up. That was always the goal, to try to keep my cards fitting in the envelopes. Otherwise, what was the point, right? So I believe my medium 6-up journal cards, my standard ones, not the more square ones, which are in some of my newer kits, but all my pretty standard ones, the 6-up fit in here. We got other paper, we got flowers. And then I just have my standard. This was the first envelope I ever did when I only just did a slight reverse and a nice little just rounded flap. And now this one, the photo is on its side, which I thought was sort of cool because when you folded it, you had this great place to put a label into it. And even the back, when you flip it up, when you flip it upward, you're going to have your flap coming over here, and you see a little bit of a leaf and a greenery on it. So thinking a little outside the box on those. So you get 3 of these, and I'll show you the other one here in a second. And there's this one. So this one's a lot of fun too. This one is where I put a little less flower on the back in a way, and I put a lot of it on the flap that comes up the back side. So when you're flipping it over, you're going to see this gorgeous flower, this simple flap going over the leaf work, and then you have this on the back side of your envelope, your main envelope piece. And it's just a fun play on. Now this one, that's what I did with the standard one, but back on my mini or small scallop. And this one, again, I did that white reverse sort of floral imprint on it, and then I have a pretty bird with a rose on this side. So I definitely went a little darker and a little lighter on both ends. I wanted to have some new colors, things that help stand out, just some new looks. And these are all ones I can't wait to use. Of course I put those. Now, like you have the large 4-flap, we also have the medium one that definitely fits my 6-up journal cards, and then I have a mini, which I did in the Blue Victorian or the Touch of Romance, and these are great just to put little pieces of ephemera in, or as a stackable, it's a great extra layer to flip out and open accordingly. So you get, of course, 3 of both of these again also. So here another floral print, big old flower on it, really obvious that when you fold it back, this is all you see, and that's okay. This one is a little bit, this was actually a really dark black and brown, and I definitely lightened it up because I was afraid it's going to be really dark. And it gives you this sort of pretty silvery gray color. So that really pops off of it. I probably could have gone a little darker, but I was really afraid to. I was like, really afraid to go too dark with that one. And then we have, of course, a really simple set of, distress papers. And you have an olive branch and a rose in the corner. And then, of course, this one, no matter which way you turn it, there's nothing can go wrong with it. You just have a gorgeous rose right in the middle of your little embellishment, pouch or envelope. So you have 1, 2, 3, 6 sizes, or 6 sizes technically. You have, small, medium, and large of the 4-flap. You have large and medium of the Scallop, and then you have, oh goodness, there we go. So you have the large and the medium-ish, or large to small of the Scallop, and then you have this, this one that matches here, because you got to use the space, right? I don't have it in between anything any smaller, and oh my goodness. You could always try to print these at 50% if you really want a tiny little clutch one, like you have the tiny little, the smaller 4-flap. But it's totally up to you on that one to make that work. Now, here's some of my favorites. I love all of those. There's nothing I don't love about any of those. But here's some of my favorites on both of the concepts that you also get. So this is your third of each one of the sets. So here is the smaller clutch. I love the dark color. I love how the paper just happened to perfectly sort of label itself, where you have a border around it. You got a gorgeous backing, and we made sure that the flowers lay just right within the scallop, which I love doing, making sure those flowers lay over nicely as if they were part of the scallop feel, and it overlays that gray. It reminds me of a linen, tweed, maybe a linen or tweed skirt. I don't know, like a pencil skirt. That's what it reminds me of so much. And then you have the front, and it's just, I think it's yummy. Absolutely yummy. Now you're going to see some white as your guidelines for these when you go to score them. I went ahead and just inked over them, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. It just gives it so much dimension and, personality. Then we have now this one's definitely simpler. Again, it's definitely an aged, heavy textured background, and it's just a gorgeous rose right down in the middle. Nothing fancy on it. We kept it simple, even on this end. So this is where you could put a grommet here, or put one of your favorite little rose elements and, a coin piece and tuck it in. And then you get to see how the lace looks like on the inside, where all you have to do is a little distressing, which I missed a few spots, I see. Now this one I noticed I did not put a thumb notch. You can always easily go use your 1 inch or your 1.5 inch if you really need that thumb notch to put in there. Otherwise, straight up, there's still enough depth where you don't feel too terrible. If you put anything little in there, you may have a hard time getting it out. But again, this is one of those flip it open. There's a notepad, another pocket. These tabs become great things to glue on, sort of fold wrap around like page inserts. I'm noticing a lot of ladies are doing sort of that tubed thing where they're putting it right over the tab and it's holding it in place. So it becomes sort of a hinge in a way. So there's that one. There's a second smaller one. So you have the 2, which is actually number 3 of both of those. And then the large one. This is one of my absolute favorites. I have another distressed page, the birds on it with the nest. And I went ahead and used those florals that happened to show up in a couple spots, and, again, used it into the bottom. So you have some color on the back. And again, this has the 3 holes, which these fit beautifully with your 1.5 inch circle punches. You can line it up, just go just outside the line. And when you punch it takes the line right out of it for your guideline. And you have 3 beautiful punches that you do not have to do by hand. Your triple thumb notch for an envelope is done beautifully. And if it's too sharp here, you could just tip it off, make it a little flatter. But I love having it ready to go. Now, as you can see, I have all these little pieces in here. When you are set and done, there's going to be a lot of lace. I mean, I have some huge pieces, which is great for me. This is great lace scraps for layering. I can make little cards out of this. I can do anything I want. Layer the back, or go ahead, of course, and collage on the back, all these small pieces. You'll have corner pieces off of this, and those make great circles. I went ahead and used my 1 inch punch so that nothing gets wasted. Everywhere I could, I went ahead and put the paper to good use, which is why I only cut out 3 of these. I think I cut out 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and I have a lot of scraps. This is even what's left over. Now, if you cut out the hole punches maybe first, you would have almost a perfect 1.5 inch hole. But I like to go across it straight first and then go back so I can get a nice clean cut with my hole puncher. And you even have a 3/4, which is great on the edge of a paper when you're layering. Here you go. You have a label. It's great for an edge piece. So you will have lots of lace scraps when you're done with this. If you print every one on the back of every one of these, one of the laces, whether it be my lace, whether it's Lorette's. She has a 4 or 5 page lace colored digital kit, which if you want more color, she has a couple different colors for you. So that's good. If you happen to have the blue Victorian. There's a pretty blue lace one that we use, a tealy lace that you may like in the back of some of these. So definitely go through it. You know, instead of just using a distressed piece of paper that you may cut off all the distressed pieces that you like, because I cannot line that up. You may want variations, but I had no problem putting lace on the inside of all of these, looking like I lined each one of my little clutch purses with lace. So there are those 3 scalloped envelopes, which I adore and can't wait to see what I can do with them. Now, they're all very different, of course, the ones I cut out, so I will probably not stack them in any which way, but you never know. I had something earlier. Okay. And then you have the four flaps, and these are the 3 sizes. You can see just by layering over them, there's definitely a difference, right? We have our full size, we have our medium, and we have our small. So it definitely gives you a range to stuff as you see fit. Or then these are great. As a 4 flap, these are going to be great to stuff with. I could see, you know, opening it up and in the wrong direction though. I was going to say opening them up and going off of them one way or another. Yeah. Well, there's potential. There's always potential. But you have this cute little one, which I adored putting. It's one of my favorite old like newspaper prints. And I loved this, you know, just the sort of tulipy tulips. I think those are tulips. Vintage tulips right on the front. Distressed it all out. Again, you can glue it and it's done, and you can stuff it with little flowers both ways. I can almost see stuffing with flowers this way and stuffing a few where you can see them coming out of this side, so it's not just white on white, and can be a cute little stuffed envelope to put in a pocket. Then we have this one, which I adored putting a big old pink and purpley, are these lilacs? No, what are these? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I know, one of my favorites. But I love this side actually. When we're done, this is actually really pretty where you see the edge of each flower off inside of each one. I actually sort of like the back almost better than the front. Who knew? But this one's great because this one you could put something big right down the middle, and you have all this color on the outside. You could put a label right down the middle and have plenty of color. You're not covering anything up. And then this side's really fun. So even if you put another flower here to tuck everything into itself, I love putting things on one of the flaps and then just tucking it in. So when I untuck it, this opens up and I can have things flip off of it, have things sticking inside. I did not too long ago. We took the same concept, see, and it pops open and I have a pocket inside it. And I have a bunch of little ephemera pieces all stuffed inside. So these do not always have to be sealed, right? And they can hold things inside it. By putting one of my corner pockets in it, or any corner pocket in it of any size, you can easily be stuffed with your favorite elements. So that is always a fun thing to do also. And last but not least is the last big one. And I've got a coffee dyed fabric piece I've used before in a number of kits. And I went ahead and put flowers in this corner and this one. This one's a little faded on purpose like we do with any other journal page. Sort of have the same feel. And again, just the lace on the inside. So again, it's all ready to go. I am in love with these guys. I love these shapes I've created. They're in all of my journals. But I wanted to create you guys a whole new set of journaling ephemera with a new set of, you know, garden floral envelopes. So you have 18 envelopes, 12 pages, 18 envelopes, and a lace backing, all in one little kit. So instead of searching through all of your journal kits for an envelope, you do have a whole garden kit right here in front of you, ready to go. And from lights to darks to colorful, everything a little muted so that it's not too bright. I didn't want to go too crazy on that. I probably in about a month will do another set of these with my own creations. I will take a collage of the envelopes that I have created throughout the years. Same shapes, same layout. We will just do ones that actually match my kit. So maybe an image or an aspect or a piece of paper that I didn't get to use as much of, and throw the graphics on it a little differently. Maybe I was like, oh, there's one more thing I could have done with that, but what's one more page? So there'll be a jewel design collection of envelopes that throw a number of my favorite elements and favorite backgrounds and imagery from all my journal kits, and we'll do another 12-page kit here soon. But I thought we'd start out with a garden kit, see how you guys like the idea of having a number of envelopes right at your fingertips, right? if that was something you really like, just like we do with the journal cards and the instantly backed and the tags on occasion, right? Where you can just get a small themed kit and just use it to make your mask making, the mask making of your ephemera. Sometimes you just need to have stuff and you don't really care what it goes to, but it sort of covers all your bases. So thank you so much for watching me. This is Julian again with a Jewel Design, and this is our Vintage Garden Envelope Kit. And like I said, 12 pages, 18 envelopes, and a variety of sizes here for you. And I really appreciate every subscription, like, love, comment, and view, of course, that you can throw my way. It just lets me know that someone is watching and that it is not falling out into the void of the internet. And I hope you'll come back on Thursday and get a full sneak peek of what I'm doing on my little zigzag ATC mini journal as we continue to work on that. And we will be back again in May. I have a whole nother journal kit in progress. I cannot wait to see how that turns out so I can show you guys. And we will just creep our way to the middle of the year. Is that scary or what? But thank you again. Love you all. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.